Hello friends, welcome to Programming Concepts. My name is Amit and this is part 65 of the ASP.NET Core MVC tutorial. In this video, we will see the HTTP.sys web server implementation in ASP.NET Core. In our previous videos, we already covered a few concepts around ASP NET Core app hosting models. All these previous videos are related, so requesting you to please watch them before proceeding with this one. I will share the link in the description. First, let's learn a few basic concepts around HTTP.sys. HTTP.sys is a kernel mode driver. But wait, the title of this video is HTTP.sys web server implementation in ASP.NET Core. So the question is HTTP.sys is a web server or a driver? Let's try to find out the answer. First, let's confirm if HTTP.sys is a driver or not. Let's go to C drive, then Windows System 32, and then drivers. And here search for HTTP.sys. See, here it is, within the System 32 drivers folder. It means HTTP.sys is the driver. HTTP.sys is also referred as HTTP stack. So if anybody says HTTP.sys driver or HTTP stack, it means the same thing. Alright, next, you must be aware of what HTTP stands for. HTTP stands for Hypertext Transfer Protocol. Now, what is a driver? Not the bus driver, but the driver in the OS world, the operating system world. So a driver is a small software program that allows your computer to communicate with hardware or connected devices. This means that a driver has direct access to the internals of the operating system, hardwares, etc. So till now we understand that HTTP.sys is a Windows driver. But is it also a web server? I will answer this question later on. HTTP.sys is a Windows driver. And being a Windows driver, Microsoft has given this driver some superpowers or assigned some specific tasks or responsibilities. Right, every driver is made for some purpose. Some driver is for your audio, some are for video, and some are for graphics, etc. So the question is, what is the HTTP.sys or HTTP stack specific task? What is this driver's responsibility? So the answer is, HTTP.sys owns a very important responsibilities in the Windows web world. HTTP.sys is an HTTP protocol listener. This means whenever any request arrives on your Windows system or server, HTTP.sys has the capability to listen to this request. And also this driver is capable to send responses back to the user. Great, right? But there is one problem. This driver doesn't know how to process that request. So we need to write code to use this driver. When we write our own code to use this driver or similar, which acts as a web server, we call them custom web server. Do not worry, we are not creating a custom web server here. We already talked about IIS, Internet Information Services, right? Even IIS also uses an HTTP.sys driver. Don't believe me? Do not worry, we will quickly conduct a small demo later in this video to confirm that as well. So, HTTP.sys listens for HTTP requests from the network and passes the request on to IIS or HTTP.sys web server for processing, and then returns processed responses to client browsers. Simple? So, how they manage to achieve this is a separate thing. These are the minimum basics you should know about HTTP.sys driver. Next, let me take you to the Microsoft site. This page is about HTTP.sys web server implementation in ASP.NET Core. And if you read the definition or description, it says HTTP.sys is a web server for ASP.NET Core that only runs on Windows. This is confusing, right? We see that HTTP.sys is a driver, and on the Microsoft site, they are saying it is a Microsoft web server. How? Don't get confused. Microsoft has given the same name to driver and web server. Because this web server internally uses HTTP.sys driver, they name it HTTP.sys. Alright, so we have two separate entities here, HTTP.sys driver and HTTP.sys web server. Let's understand some important concepts around HTTP.sys web server. HTTP.sys is a web server for ASP.NET Core that only runs on Windows. Again, like IIS, this server is also for Windows only. HTTP.sys is an alternative to the Kestrel server and offers some features that Kestrel doesn't provide. Now, the important thing to note here is that HTTP.sys isn't compatible with the ASP.NET Core module ANCM and can't be used with IIS or IIS Express. If you are not aware of what ANCM is, please watch part 56 of this video series. In short, ANCM is that module in IIS which is responsible to run code written in .NET Core. Alright. Next, HTTP.sys supports the following features: Windows authentication, port sharing, HTTPS with SNI, HTTP2 over TLS, direct file transmission, response caching, and WebSockets. We will not be going to cover them in this video, doesn't require it for now. If we feel it is required, we will cover them in some other video. Next, when to use HTTP.sys. HTTP.sys is useful for deployments where there is a need to expose the server directly to the internet without using IIS. An internal deployment requires a feature not available in Kestrel. As already specified, HTTP.sys has more features than Kestrel. So if we came across such a situation, we can use it. Although I personally never use HTTP.sys professionally, I only use this for testing purposes. Next, HTTP.sys is a mature technology that protects against many types of attacks and provides the robustness, security, and scalability of a full-featured web server. IIS itself runs as a HTTP listener on top of HTTP.sys. Alright, enough theory. Let's practically use the HTTP.sys web server. Let's go to the Visual Studio. And this is the project which we are working with. So the next question which might come to your mind is how to install the HTTP.sys web server. So Microsoft makes this server available as a NuGet package. So if you want to take advantage of HTTP.sys web server, you only need to add the Microsoft.ASPNETCORE Hosting package. Alright, let's do that. First, let's add the required namespace, Microsoft.ASPNETCORE Hosting. And then next, tell our builder to use HTTP.sys web server. So just type builder.webhost.use HTTP.sys and then within bracket options such that let's type options.UrlPrefixes.Add and specify the URL you want your server to listen to for this application. Let's type http://localhost:5005. Done. There are many other options available for HTTP.sys, but I'm only using URL prefixes to make this demo simple. You can see there is a green squiggly. Mouse over and let's read the error. This call site is reachable on all platforms. HTTP.sys is only supported on Windows. As we discussed earlier, HTTP.sys is only supported on Windows just like IIS. So the compiler just gives the warning to make sure you intended to use this application on Windows only. So either you can ignore this or just go to Proj file and update the target framework from NET 6.0 to NET 6.0-Windows. All right, and then again build your project. And you can see the warning is gone. Let's confirm in the background our application uses the HTTP.sys web server and not the IS Express Orchestral. Let's open the Windows Event Viewer side by side. Go to Run and type event VWR, EVENT VWR. It will open Windows Event Viewer and our future logs will be captured within the application subfolder. In the Visual Studio, you can see it at the top. I selected the IS Express to run. As we already discussed, HTTP.sys don't work with IS or IS Express because it is not compatible with ASP NET Core Module, ANCM. All right, let's run the program. And you can see it tried to execute but failed. Let's check the application logs and refresh the logs as well. And you can see the error is logged and it says failed to start the process with command line. And if you look at the source is IIS Express ASP.NET Core Module v2. So our ANCM module is not able to understand the request. All right. So it is confirmed that IIS or IIS Express can't be used with HTTP.sys. Let's go to Visual Studio and select project name profile from the top. It is just a name within your launch setting, so you can name it anything. Let's select that and run our application. And you can see listening to port 5005. Let's go to the browser and browse the localhost 5005 port. And you can see working as expected. Let's confirm if the response is coming from the HTTP.sys web server. Press F12, go to network and press F5. Click on any request from the left panel name. And within response header, you can see the server is Microsoft HTTP API 2.0. HTTP API is a big topic in itself, so can't cover it here. This is just a confirmation that response is coming from the HTTP API, and in our case, Microsoft HTTP.sys web server. Let's cover one more test. What if I disable the HTTP.sys driver? Will our HTTP.sys web server work? Let's see that. Setting to disable HTTP.sys driver is present under registry. Let's go to the registry entry. Within run, type regedit. It will ask you for permission granted. And go to H key local machine, then system, then current control set, then services, and then HTTP. Here in the right panel, the value of the start is set to 3, which means automatically. Let's change it to 4 and restart the system. 4 means disable. I just restarted my system. Let's try to run our project again. And you can see the error. Operation is not supported on this platform. So without the HTTP.sys driver or HTTP stack, Microsoft HTTP.sys web server will not work. We also discussed IIS itself runs as a HTTP listener on top of HTTP.sys. So now because the HTTP.sys driver is disabled in our system, our website hosted in IIS should not work, right? Let's confirm that as well. Let's go to IIS. You can see IIS is in a stopped state. And if you try to start the IIS, it will complain cannot start W3SVC on this computer. It is a generic message because we disable the HTTP.sys driver. There are many dependent services not able to start on reboot. Alright, here my purpose is to demonstrate the usage of HTTP stack or HTTP.sys driver. So that's it from this video. Hope you like our content. If you have any queries related to the content of this video, do ask me in the comments. Till then, thanks for watching.